Hi, welcome back. And tonight I'm going to make salmon patties for dinner. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some tartar sauce, and I'm going to make some cocktail sauce, and I'm going to put it in the fridge, and then I'm going to start on my salmon patties. So let's start with the tartar sauce right now. So what I do is I take some pickles. Okay. Little food processor here got unplugged for a second. Okay, so I'm gonna take a few pickles. Today I have garlic pickles, and you could use whatever type of pickles you like. Sometimes I just use regular kosher dills, but the garlic pickles taste very good. So I'll take a few of these out. See if this is enough, so I'm going to get that off of there. Okay. Come up a little bit. So I have like this mini food processor, which I'm pretty sure only cost me like $10. But it comes in very handy. So I'm going to put the pickles in here. And then I'll see after I do this if I have enough. That may be enough for how much I need. I'll get out a spoon for my mayonnaise in a minute here. So I'm going to chop these. Well, it didn't work. Okay, I gotta make sure the blade is down low. Okay. And sometimes you have to, let's see, push it down because it gets up high and then it doesn't get chopped up. Okay, so got that chopped up. I think that should be enough, because I'm not going to make a ton of this. I'm going to make enough, but not a ton. I'm going to put this in first, actually. My container that I'm going to store it in. Okay. And I'm thinking probably at least a couple tablespoons, probably more than that. Okay, probably 3 heaping tablespoons. Mix this up. And I think that should probably be enough. I always end up with too much, which is better than too little. And then I'm going to take some, I have a mixture here of black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And we just used an old giant spice container, and then we just mixed that all up ourselves. And just sprinkle a tad in here. Mix that up. Some added flavor. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to put it in the fridge after I make my tartar sauce. That's my tartar sauce. Now I'm going to make my cocktail sauce. Another little container. And this is super simple. You can buy it or you can make it, and all you need is ketchup. I can get the ketchup out of here. Easier just to open this up at this point. There. I'm getting to the bottom of the ketchup, so that's the rest of this ketchup. Okay. Then I have some horseradish, and you can get this in like sometimes in the deli section of your store, but this one's the refrigerated one. Sometimes you can get it in the dry section, dry goods section. And I have a very long spoon to get to, because when this gets down lower, and also a big spoon's not going to fit in there, so I'm going to put a couple these heaping spoonfuls of the horseradish. I'm going to mix this up. Smells good. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick the tartar sauce and the cocktail sauce in the fridge, and then I'm going to start on the salmon patties. Okay, now for the salmon patties themselves. So I'm going to use 2 cans of salmon. You could use 1 can of salmon if you're making less. So 2 cans of salmon, 4 eggs. So if you're going to do 1 can, you only need 2 eggs. So I'm going to strain some of the, I opened this up, but there's always juice. If you haven't ever had canned salmon, there's always juice on top, and I'm going to go ahead and strain some of the juice out. Okay, so I'm going to put the 2 cans of salmon into my bowl. And there's a little bit of juice, but the majority of the juice is out. And when doing canned salmon, it's best to have a fork handy, which of course I did not get out, which was a bad idea. Oh, look, there's a helping hand. Thank you.
Yes, it's small.
Thank you. Okay. It's always good to have a second person around. Okay. So when doing the salmon, I want to show you. So you have to push it down with a fork, and there is bones. And I just go ahead and I mush the bones up. And it's actually a very good source of calcium. And if you've never done canned salmon, you'll also see that there's skin on it. And I just take the fork and I just mush the skin right into it. And I'm using red salmon, but you could certainly use pink salmon. I just happen to like red salmon better. And you want to, if there are bones, just smush them down with that fork. And just keep on going ahead and looking for the bones, making sure you don't have. And then later I'm going to mix this all up with my hands, and I'll crush any if I feel them. That's why I have some gloves on. Otherwise, you have very fishy smelling hands otherwise. Okay, I prefer the gloves. So once this is mixed up very well, and as you can see, there's like barely any skin now because it's just all mixed in. Then you add 4 eggs. And then mix again with your fork, which will also, if there's still anything, any bones or whatever, it will get mixed up even more. Now, I'm going to add breadcrumbs in a minute. And today what I have is I have Italian breadcrumbs. So I don't need to add a lot of spices, but if you do plain breadcrumbs, then you'll just add whatever spices that you like. So I am going to add some extra onion powder, garlic powder, and pepper to it though. Okay, so the eggs mixed in. Just like anything else, the more you mix this stuff, the better. Now I'm going to try to take off my glove without destroying my glove because I'm going to need it again to mix up the salmon. So we'll see how I do. Okay, so I'm going to do the breadcrumbs. And sometimes you have to just, you're looking for the consistency of like a meatball or a hamburger or something like that, where it's, you don't want it too wet, but you also don't want it too dry. So I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm going to add my spices right now. So I got my, again, the black pepper, onion powder, garlic mix. Add a little bit of that because I just like a little bit extra of that. And you have to, on the breadcrumbs, like I said, you almost have to guess. And I always just buy a lot of breadcrumbs, and I'd rather have too many ingredients than not enough ingredients. So when I do this, I just make sure I have plenty in the house. I'm going to set my fork aside because I need to play with this with my hands to see if it's the right consistency. And I can tell you right now, it is not yet. But I don't want to add too many breadcrumbs because I don't want it to just taste like bread. My granddaughter is underneath me making noise if you hear anything in the background. So, okay, I'm going to have to take, this is the tricky part now. If you have somebody else in the house, you could say, hey, add some breadcrumbs. My helper is in the other room, so I'm just going to add some more breadcrumbs. I got to kind of guess. And I think I left my glove in good repair. Yep, so I could put it back on. And I'm going to mix some more. And I think I still need more breadcrumbs. But I'm going to keep on mixing. Now, what I'm going to do for a side dish tonight with these salmon patties is I'm going to do frozen French fries. So as soon as I get my salmon patties going, I'm going to put my fries in the oven. The oven's already preheated. So then that way, I only have to concentrate on my salmon patties. Of course, if you want to do French fries from scratch, that's great too, and I do that sometimes. Okay, I think just a tad more breadcrumbs. I think it will probably be there with this because I don't want it dried out either. So you can, when you think you're about there, then you make a salmon patty and see if it looks like it's going to stick together. So I'm going to take a big handful and see if it's sticking together, which it is so far. Okay, so I need a platter. So I got the right consistency now. I'm going to go get a platter. So that's just the right consistency. I'll do another one and then I'll make up the rest. Get a handful. Of course, your hands might be smaller or bigger than mine. So you have to kind of figure out what size salmon patties you want. So press it and then smash it. Much like making a hamburger. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of these and then we'll go over to the stove. Over at the stove, I actually have 2 pans going and I'm going to add some olive oil. A good amount of olive oil. I like to cook this with olive oil because it makes it even taste better. So I'm going to heat that up and then I'm going to put my other pan over here, which you can't see, but I'm making, it ended up making, so for 2 cans I ended up with 7 salmon patties. Okay, I'll let you know when I'm going to finish. So now I need to go ahead and flip them again. And it's nice and crispy, which is a good thing. But I need to continue to cook them and I don't want to burn them. So what I'm going to do is the inside, so that one kind of fell apart a little, so it sometimes does happen. What I'm going to need to do is I'm going to cover these so that they'll cook the inside better. And I'm cooking it over like a medium heat right now. Check back in just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm ready to go ahead and pull these salmon patties. As you can see, they're nice and crisp. And sometimes you might have a few pieces that fall off. Those could be little sample ones. Okay, time to taste the food. And I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to cut a piece open. I'm going to cut this open and show you what the inside looks like. Just so you know when you cut yours open to make sure it's done. So this is how the inside looks. Okay, time to taste it. Now, when I was a kid, sometimes what we would do when I would, my mom would make these, and then later when I was older, I'd make them myself, is we'd actually put them on a hamburger bun and put pickles on it and mustard and ketchup and eat it like a burger. I don't eat it like that anymore. I like it with my French fries. I'd rather eat more French fries and less bun. So this is how I personally eat it now. Okay, so I like usually the cocktail sauce, but I also like the tartar sauce. So I'm going to do both. So first I'm going to try it with the cocktail sauce. Came out very good. This is actually one of my favorite dinners. Maybe it's about the French fries. I think it's about the salmon patty too. Very good. Also, some people might actually call them salmon cakes, like crab cakes. So now I'm going to go ahead and try a piece with the tartar sauce. Very good. Anyway, well, I'm excited about dinner. This is one of my favorite things to eat. Thank you for watching. Thank you for those of you who subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. And those of you who don't subscribe, it is free if you enjoy the content. And if you like this video, please like it. Have a great evening.